Hello, and welcome back to the Talking Ship podcast. In today's episode, we have a conversation with a celebrity in the garden center industry. Jessie Jacobson is the owner of Tonkadale Greenhouse in Minnetonka, Minnesota. Jessie is a hero of mine. I have been following her marketing on social media for several years and even got the chance to coordinate a tour of her store with several of my peers from the ECGC group. Jessie is a trendsetter for the IDC world. She is constantly innovating and pushing things towards the future. So this conversation was a lot of fun to collaborate with someone who thinks a lot like I do. Without further ado, here is Jessie Jacobson from Tonkadale Greenhouse. I mean, obviously you are huge on social media, and I look up to you as like, how do I get this kind of following? But it's also, you've got a team that you look like you're making it fun for them, but they all want to participate in the TikTok videos. And, is it because you're in them too with them, making it fun? How do you get them to all agree? Because sometimes people are camera shy.
Oh, yeah. Actually, I think we come up against that participation like on video, the reluctance to, more often than you'd think. I mean, what we're putting out there is obviously kind of the best of the best, but social media marketing has kind of been our main avenue of marketing in the last 5 years. We haven't done any paid advertising really ever, with the exception of some mailers back in the day. But I think the landscape's changing. So right now I'm kind of on a mission to change it up. You're at the pinnacle, you're doing all of these things right, but I'm ready to just say, hey, what's next? And I guess a lot of it has to do, it's in the planning and the passion and the excitement for the product. The people that are on the media team love the product and they understand the seasonality and are able to get in there and work with the product and present what is going on now. But we definitely work off of a calendar. So the calendar will, dictate the theme and the topics per week. And there's definitely a cadence or a routine. So on Mondays we do this, on Tuesdays we do this. And we've been, doing this for a long time. And I'm kind of ready to see what else is out there. What is next? Social media is becoming so diluted with so much information, and to get people to stop and pay attention is getting, harder and harder every day. But I guess it's the engaging, authentic, and consistent content that really gets people excited. People like to see my face. It's hard to say out loud, but I think people relate to me in kind of a real and authentic way, and then seeing me excited about whatever I'm talking about or the product is what gets people pulled in. And it's not a pretend excited. It's like I really love what I'm talking about or what I'm doing or putting together or presenting, and that gets people excited. They can feel it. It's an energy, and people want to be a part of it. And I think that's what makes any of the media or marketing materials that we put out appealing, I guess, in a subjective sort of way, if I were to describe it.
So it definitely comes across genuine and authentic, and you could see that passion. And I know you're also being humble, but I'm sure there's a level of local celebrity that you have that they come in and they see you and they're like, "There's Jessie."
There's Jessie. I get it's more like you're the Instagram lady.
Yeah.
I meant lady status now because of my age. But yeah, people come in and they see me and they love to see me. And some people are shy and don't say a word, but other people will come right up to me and want to chat. I would say what's actually been really interesting in the last few years is couples shopping together. So you might have it's like a retired couple shopping together, and the husband is like, "Oh, I really love your videos." It's like, wait, what? Like, you're a 67-year-old retired man, and I just love your videos. They're so fun. I learned so much. I don't know. Maybe they think it's cute. It's not creepy. So all my 70-year-old viewers, it's not creepy. It's endearing. And it's so funny because they're like, I love your videos. I could just like imagine them watching them at home and it's like talking. I don't know. It's so funny. But yeah, I do get recognized sometimes in public places, which is a lot of fun. I get a kick out of that. And I was at the checkout counter at a clothing store in our area, and the woman checking out next to me, she was being a little bit difficult with the cashier. And when you're in retail and you observe other retail, just, from walking in the door to the dressing rooms to how it goes at the cash wrap, packaging, whatever, return policy, you notice everything. And in a way, I like to take it all in and evaluate it, see what's going right, what's going wrong. Anyway, this woman was being very difficult with the cashier about the return she was doing and did you charge me correctly, and examining her receipt. And I'm sure she does this every place she goes because, customers just don't go on that tap just because randomly. This is how they act everywhere they go. And I'm sorry, what if this woman hears me talking about her? But you know the feeling in retail. So anyway,
She's not going to know.
She's not gonna know. Anyway, I'm standing next to her and just kind of waiting for my turn. And I wasn't in a hurry or anything, and just observing. And this cashier could not have been. She did everything A plus customer service that you'd want her to do, A plus, right. And so I was just kind of waiting for this woman to just be nice. And she kind of turned to the side and saw me out of the side of her vision. And she said, well, hey, wait a minute. Are you the Tonkadale lady? And I said, I could be. She, oh my God, I love your videos. They're so fun. And it like instantly broke the tension. And she was like, it was almost like, she's like, well, I shouldn't behave that way in front of her because, I don't know. It was really interesting. And then we chatted a little bit and what's going on in Tonkadale and fun to see you. And then she left, and I don't know, the cashier was probably like, thank God. That was
Thank God
fun.
the celebrity from Tonkadale was here to diffuse the situation.
Oh, I don't know. It was just kind of fun how it really just it took her guard down and she was able to just relax. And I don't know, it's interesting. And then another story, I was coming out, I'm in Boston right now, but I was on the bus from the airport to the car rental, sitting with my daughter, and across the seat across from us was a gentleman. And I don't know, there was two gentlemen. I don't know what their relationship was, but one was younger, one was a little bit older. So the young guy, I had seen him on our plane before, but nothing out of the ordinary. They were on the bus getting a rental car too. And he looks at me and says, are you Jessie? And I said, yeah. And he's like, yeah, Jessie from Tonkadale. And it's like, yeah. I was like, oh, do you shop there? He's like, yeah, I do. I love it. And he's telling me the story about how his friend first introduced him and why he shops there. And then it was really cool. Like, you're across the country. I mean, they were from Minneapolis, obviously, and there's somebody wanting to spark up a conversation. It's really fun. And it just helps people in a way get to know me and the business a little bit more, and it puts a humanness to it versus like a corporate, like, we're here to take your money and that's it. I don't know, it's pretty fun.
Well, I mean, I'm not surprised, and that is pretty cool. I'm sure your daughter Margaret was probably like, "What the heck is going on, Mom?" But
I roll. Well, she's heard it before, but yeah, I roll.
Yeah. All right, my mom's a celebrity. So, going back to, you mentioned you don't do any paid advertising, and I know so. And I'll kind of give you a little bit of at least the insight that I was given by some of your staff members when I was visiting your store. One of them said, "We love the Tonkadale swag because you sell your merch within the store, but it's also that what your employees wear, and they love it so much that they wear it out in public."
Oh, well, probably. Yeah.
And they're very proud to work there. But that's, I guess, I mean, out of all the advertising that you do besides the digital, and you don't do any sponsored posts, you don't put any spend behind any of it. It's all organic.
No spend, no paid advertising. I might start looking at it a little bit more just to expand the reach. It's kind of like, you'll get people in the store and be like, oh, I've lived here for 15 years and I didn't know you were here. I think maybe now is the time to try to expand that reach a little bit more. Like, oh, I've been in this Instagram space forever. I'm a gardener. I like plants. I didn't know this was available. So I'm looking to explore that a little more, a little like I was talking about just a few minutes ago. I'm ready to shake it up and do something different. It's like you kind of get into this, like it could be working, but it becomes repetitive, or I don't know. Rich, do you get bored?
Yes and no, because I somehow figure out a way to keep myself occupied with. I mean, I think we're very similar where it's like, well, I've got this going on too, so I don't even have time to be bored.
Yeah, I mean, it's a weird phenomenon, this board. It's not like you just sit around staring at the wall like I'm bored. It's you're looking for what's new. You, and I actually what it's probably what makes you successful is you're looking for like what's next. Even if things are working, you are always kind of be like sniffing it out, like what's next, what are you gonna do next? And I mean, it's not you're not like having the foot on the gas all the time because you'd be exhausted. But right now, that's where I am with media and marketing. I'm what's next.
I keep thinking about how does Pokemon relate to plants? Like somebody's got to make some kind of business or app where it's like you got to collect all the plants and then you get some kind of rewards. But
Oh,
it's just like they got to
yeah.
collect. And again, I've totally missed all that, but I see these kids like going crazy over these cards and and I'm like, well, got to collect them all. I love that phrase. Like,
Yeah.
people,
That's
there's
actually really interesting. Like the toy industry kind of has that down with like LOL dolls or like the mini brands or
yeah.
Squishmallows or whatever. Wow. There might be something there.
I know. It's like you said when you get bored and you start thinking about like, all right, what's next? And I have kind of sketched out some ideas on this, but maybe you
Yeah.
and I can go into business one day together when we have a minute. Come
What do you
up
have a
with
minute?
a
So, okay, so then I have a question for you. Something I've been thinking about a lot, and something I did have to present to our leaders this week at our leadership retreat. It was kind of like, what, Jesse, is your vision? And I struggle a lot of times with like, you know, um, as a young person, I was at the growing range, planting the plants, watering the plants, loading the plants, scraping the floor, and then growing into my position. With the revenue growth we've seen over, the 2020s through 2022, things may be leveling off a bit now, but with the revenue growth that we're now sustaining, like your business got really big right in front of your face and you're kind of in survival mode. But now all of a sudden I look around and I have all of these employees that I can't personally give attention in the way of, direct leadership or support, and I now need, and I mean, our leaders lead obviously, but it's like I need to step back so that I can um, have time to be like, what is the next big thing? Is it the squishmallow plant paradox? I don't know. Probably not. But what is the next thing? And I just have been so close to the day to day operations that it's very difficult to kind of figure out where to go from here. And that's kind of the exploratory phase that I'm in right now, and equipping our leaders to lead their teams and have the authority and autonomy to be effective leaders when, it's not that Jesse's right around the corner and actually what she says matters, not what they say. Or, for example,
Mhm.
um, it's it's just really interesting and something I've been thinking about a lot. So how do you make the space to do that? I know your business is larger than mine, so you probably have more layers. But I'm sure there was a time in your career where you were faced with this phenomenon. Like, what
Yeah.
did you do?
So, I mean, this is a great subject and a great question. And I will say, in response to being larger, it's all relative.
Yeah.
And what I was able to do, because I used to be so hands on and I was like managing the greenhouse at one of the locations.
Right.
Even at the point where I was appointed CEO in 2012. So this is the 14th year since that. And took me a long time to find the right person that could train into that greenhouse manager role to doing the day-to-day operations and ordering. And finally, I got someone that has been with us quite a while now and has really settled strongly into that role. But even with that, then it was like, okay, I was my own store manager. So like, even though we have 3 retail locations and
Right.
the two production facilities, and so we've got layers of management in all of them, but I'm still like stretched, bouncing around and going, and ultimately decisions, kind of the buck stops here. And it wasn't until a year ago I was able to find someone that I was able to hire as the general manager for
Uh-huh.
the location that I'm primarily out of. And it's a person, she's actually from the fashion industry. She came from the corporate world of fashion,
Okay.
um, and also had a love for flowers and had her own cut flower garden business, and still does actually. And she has brought a different vibe into the business, to where she's all business, but she also has the respect of the team. So like, she's got like the street cred. So I knew I was going to make her the GM, um, but I didn't tell anybody but her. So I ran this first 6 months with her as an associate on the floor, learning all different parts of the business.
Okay.
And then after, like, it was very clear, like, everybody on the team like was like loved her. Then I flipped the switch and said, "Hey, everybody, this is our new general manager." And that was midway through the year last year, and it was very well received. And she's just been instrumental in providing more structure to our business, then also taking things off my plate so that
Yeah.
I can focus on the big picture things. And that was actually the way my brother David, who's my equal business partner, he kind of articulated it to me. He's like, you're really the big picture guy. You need to
Yeah.
be able to not be relied on to do all these things, so that
Right.
you can go out and do. So I would say that that's where, having somebody, and I'm not saying it's like you need to go out and hire a new person
Well, I
necessarily,
mean,
but
funny you say it, is I have a person that I have now. Well, this person indicated to me, they're like, I want to be the next head of operations for your business. And they already
okay.
worked in the business. And I was like, yes, let's do it. And so we've been on this journey for, a solid 6 months now. And it's been communicated to the leadership team that this is the intention and that this is what we're working towards. Um, and figuring out the steps and the knowledge that she needs to gain and the relationships that she need to build have been like the primary focus. And actually, I would love to connect her with your general manager, because I'm guessing there would be some really great conversation about what that journey looked like. Um, but yeah, I'm working on it. We're working on a full on director of operations, someone to lead the leaders and run the day-to-day operations, so that I can focus on bigger picture items, which in the end is what's really going to benefit everybody, because that's where you get new opportunities for growth, revenue streams, profitability, etc., which is good for everyone.
Yeah, no, it is all about your people, because in all the reasons that you just gave. And it's also the largest expense that a business has is payroll. I
Well,
don't care who you are.
no, cost of goods is first, then payroll.
Okay, but I'm saying that
Yeah, yeah,
you
yeah,
can't get around cost of goods, but I mean, more than
yeah.
utilities or, equipment or any of these other line items, of course, cost of goods. But
Right, right, right.
and it just shows you how important that asset is your team. And so to get the most out of them, and also, treating them with dignity, respect, and you know like that, because we're independents, we can a lot easier say, like, it's family first, we're going to be
Yeah,
flexible.
right.
There's not some corporate, soulless overlord that's like, nope, this is how it is. And so
Yeah.
um but yeah, it's that was definitely what worked has worked really well for me because I was, like I said, I was so stretched thin, especially
Yeah.
during the COVID years because
Oh
we had a
yeah.
GM and we lost her right before COVID, and she was with me for 20 years, and we lost her
Oh my
right
goodness.
before COVID hit, and it was like it worked out so good because we now found Megan, but the timing of it was scary because of all the things that were going on, but then it worked out great because you know Wednesday was like a Saturday in terms of sales and customer count, and
Yeah.
so we didn't even have time to even realize there's nobody that's the store manager. It was kind of like I'll do it myself, and
Yeah.
luckily I had a key to the front door.
Good for you. Hey, there you go. You should start making keychains also. Keychains.
I should. Well,
Oh,
and
okay.
maybe one day when we get our merch going, that'll be something we can
Yeah,
do.
something to add on. Hey, Rich, I really hate to say this, but I feel I'm due at the trampoline park at 12 o'clock Eastern. I am still in my pajamas. I just found out that my kids have been sick this week, and I just found out my son is positive for strep, but my daughter is not, but she's still feeling sick. So I got to pick up an antibiotic,
We got to get
even though
going.
I got to get going. I'm having so much fun. And we could probably talk for hours,
Yeah.
and, if we need to reconvene or whatever, I'm happy to do that. But I really probably should, get my shit together for the day.
All right. Jesse's got to get her ship together. And
Ship
so
together.
I think we have more than enough here. This has been a
Okay.
wonderful conversation. And I want to thank Jesse uh, for being on the show. And also just, check out Tonkadale Greenhouse on TikTok, Instagram, go to their website. This is a woman-led company that is, pioneering a lot of different ideas and thoughts and moving us to the next generation of consumer horticulture consumers and employees. So, Jesse, thank you so much, and enjoy your time in Boston. And yeah, thanks for being on the Talking Ship podcast.